Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to explain how to go about things when you're suffering from health issues. Now the principle is the same whatever it is you're dealing with in life and whatever your desire is, whether that's to get your health problems resolved or something else. So anyone who doesn't have health issues, you can still apply the same process to whatever it is you want to manifest. But I decided to specifically talk about health today since a number of you have asked me about this recently, and I know that there are a few of you who follow me who are dealing with health issues, so I wanted to do a video that talks about how to handle specifically these kinds of problems. Now, there is a little bit of a difference when it comes to health challenges. Not in the sense that it's more difficult or anything like that, but in the sense that it's one of those things where the problem is very physically apparent. There's no getting away from knowing it exists, that it's there. It's definitely one of those areas where if you try to go down the path of trying to ignore it and pretend it's not there, it will very quickly bring you crashing down to earth and reminding you that it very much is there. It's not really something you can run away from, like perhaps you can do with other things like relationships or money. With other things, there's the possibility to escape it in a sense. But with your health, there's nowhere to go. And in terms of manifesting, that's actually a good thing, believe it or not, because you can't fall into the trap of pretending everything is fine when you know that it's not. You have no choice but to be honest and admit that you do have these issues. If you try to pretend that you don't, you'll probably immediately feel one of your symptoms flaring up again, as if to remind you, haha, you thought you could fool yourself into thinking that I'm gone. Well, guess what? I'm still here. So, if we can't pretend our way out of our health problems, if we can't make them go away by ignoring them and pretending they're not there, then what is the best way to go about manifesting an outcome where you're completely healthy and where these symptoms no longer exist? Well, here's the process that you need to adopt to tackle something like this. The first thing you need to do is really spend time connecting with the source that is creating everything. This is the crux of it all. It's fundamental. You really need to understand that there is this infinite power that is creating all things. That's the basis of everything. So really let that sink in first and foremost. Now, this source that is creating everything is actually you, but it is you at a higher level. So from the perspective of your human self, it feels like something outside of you and bigger and more powerful than you. So to me, when I connect with this part of myself, it feels like taking my focus and awareness to another layer that is beyond this world, beyond my human self, to the place where everything is coming from, where everything is being created from. Now, from that place of connecting with this bigger part of you, understand that this part of you wants you to be healthy. It wants you to be able to enjoy this world fully, to not be constrained because of pain or disability. It wants you to be able to enjoy all the wonderful things of this world to the full. And when you let this feeling sink in, that this bigger part of you wants you to have all this, then it no longer becomes you fighting against something that is forcing something unwanted on you, which is how having the health issues tends to feel. Instead, it becomes this alignment with this immense power that gives only love, only healing, only well-being. So there's nothing to push against anymore. You don't need to make the bad things go away. You just need to allow the good things in to replace them. And let all the horrible, unwanted stuff just dissolve and fizzle away and fade into nothing. And then once you've aligned yourself with this feeling, understand also that this source that is creating everything already has the perfect plan to take you to this outcome of complete well-being. Really absorb this and let this understanding sink in. And then, when you've really let this knowing sink in, bring your focus back to the present and allow yourself to be led from moment to moment on what action to take. Let yourself feel in each moment what feels right, what you most feel like doing, and allow yourself to do it fully. So this might mean, for example, that in the moment you feel an urge to rest. And even though your mind might say, "Oh, but I need to be productive," something deeper in you will whisper, "Trust me, just rest today." And if you follow that, then you'll find that that rest will be healing, because it was exactly what you needed at that point in time. Or else, for example, you might come across a certain book or a piece of information or even a person who says exactly the right thing you need to hear or who points you towards the next right step. That's how this works. That's how this higher part of you guides you. It doesn't usually drop a miracle on your doorstep overnight, although sometimes it can. But more often, it gently leads you through a process. One step, then the next, then the next. And if you do this, you'll find that things will be orchestrated for you in such a way that you'll be guided along a path that leads you towards all these health issues being completely healed. And your job isn't to micromanage that process. Your job is to trust that it's happening, to stay in that feeling of alignment with love, with wholeness, with healing. And it's important that you continue to live from this state, from this inner knowing, no matter what. You need to make that inner vision, that relaxing into this knowing that you are being taken care of, stronger than anything that is happening on the outside. Don't let yourself be driven by what the external world is showing you. If positive things happen, if you notice that a symptom is starting to disappear or a test result came back with the outcome you wanted, then absolutely celebrate and say a little internal thank you and high five to the source. But if the external world isn't yet showing you what you want to see, make sure you don't let yourself fall into believing that you can't have your desired outcome. It's okay if you do fall into that state. It's okay if you get a result you don't like and it makes you feel really unhappy for a while. Let yourself feel whatever it is you're feeling. Don't think that you have to make yourself be completely positive and high vibe all the time. It's perfectly okay to feel down and to feel bad because you're in pain or because you can't do something that you desperately want to do. It's absolutely okay to be honest with yourself about how you feel. But don't dwell in that unwanted state. Don't make it mean that because it's like this now and because it's been like this for a while, it means that it's going to stay like this forever. Remind yourself how this works. Remind yourself that you have this infinite power that is on your side, and align yourself with that again. And that way you will bring yourself back onto the path towards healing again, no matter what anyone or anything on the outside is telling you. So absolutely go ahead and celebrate if you can feel yourself getting better, or if you can see that you're making progress and that things are improving. But don't make yourself reliant on being able to see external changes or on getting confirmation that this is working. You need to hold to that inner vision and to that feeling that you're operating in partnership with this bigger part of you that is taking care of you and that is directing and orchestrating everything in perfect timing. And this feeling that you're in very good hands no matter what is going on the outside. Because that is what then makes the outside solidify into what you're choosing on the inside. And if you do this, what you'll find is that your relationship with your health starts to shift. It's not just about symptoms disappearing, although that absolutely can and will happen. It's also about no longer feeling at the mercy of those symptoms. You'll start to feel empowered because you'll know that there's a much greater intelligence, a much deeper love that is guiding this process. And you'll begin to feel more peace, even if everything isn't fully resolved yet. Because peace is what naturally arises when you're no longer in resistance. When you're no longer fighting reality, but instead you're choosing to be in partnership with the part of you that sees the bigger picture, the part of you that knows exactly how to bring you back into perfect harmony, then your whole body just relaxes. And the vibrancy of life and well-being is able to flow through you. Because you're no longer blocking it off with that shrinking feeling of having these problems that you have to fight against, because you feel that if you don't fight against them, then they're going to continue forevermore. And here's another beautiful thing that happens when you approach healing like this. You stop identifying with the illness. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is broken, or someone who has a condition, or someone who's limited. Instead, you start to see yourself as someone who is whole, and who is simply moving through a temporary experience on the way to something better. You become someone who is being led, supported, loved. And when you shift your identity in this way, the outer world starts to match that new self-concept. Healing begins to show up. Help begins to arrive. New energy starts to move through your body. Things start flowing again. And look, healing doesn't always look the way we think it will or we think it should. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's gradual. Sometimes it's physical and other times it's emotional or mental or spiritual. But no matter what form it takes, the process is always the same. Connect with the source that is creating everything. Trust it, follow the nudges, let yourself rest when you need to, let yourself be inspired when inspiration comes, and allow the unfolding. And the key word here is allow. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to figure it all out. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need to allow the healing that is already available to come through. Because your natural state is wholeness. Your natural state is well-being. That is who you are. And that is what your higher self is always guiding you back to. So let it be simple. Let it be gentle. Let it be loving. And most of all, trust that you're not doing this alone. You're being supported every step of the way. Even when it doesn't feel like it, especially when it doesn't feel like it. So just keep returning to that connection. Keep coming back to the truth that you are more than a body, more than your symptoms, more than what any doctor or diagnosis has said about you. You're a powerful being, and you're being called back into full alignment with that power. And as you walk that path, know that you're doing it beautifully. even if it doesn't feel like it physically, even if you have hard days. You're doing beautifully because you're remembering the truth of who you are. And that is the most healing thing you can do. Okay, that is it from me for today. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please consider sharing it with someone else who might be going through a tough time with their health. And let me know in the comments what resonated with you, or if you have any questions. I always love hearing from you. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.